Vader just loved cutting off people's limbs in his early Sith days. I wonder why.
You're fulfilling your destiny.
This video, I want to go over the newest Star Wars comic released this week, Darth Vader issue number 7. And oh boy, if you are not reading the series, you are seriously missing out. It is phenomenal. This series takes place right where Revenge of the Sith leaves off. The Empire is new and the Emperor is working on solidifying his power, which includes erasing the rest of the Jedi. Vader, the fallen Jedi Knight that was known as Anakin Skywalker, is struggling to adjust to his new life and role in the Empire after betraying the Jedi Order. Palpatine has put Vader in charge of the Inquisitors, a group of former Jedi fallen to the dark side. They, along with Vader, are to wipe out the rest of the Jedi. So this issue begins with Vader training the Inquisitors, and let's be honest, torturing them and getting out his anger and baggage on them. His training is as brutal as we'd expect as we see him chopping off the arm of one Inquisitor. The Grand Inquisitor protests, asking what will chopping off his arm possibly teach him? Vader's response? Loss. Then we see Vader has been chopping off the limbs of the other Inquisitors. Obviously, a few things are going on here. One, Vader is pissed that Palpatine created this program without his knowledge, and he's upset that they're going after the Jedi when it should be his job alone. And two, he's still super pissed off about Obi-Wan taking off his limbs, severely limiting him. In this series, we see him struggling to get used to his life in the suit. In the other Vader series, we see just how angry he is at Obi-Wan for besting him and leaving him alive. Alright, so the Grand Inquisitor and Vader go off to discuss the training of the Inquisitors and the Jedi they are to target. Vader tells him that since the Inquisitors were all once Jedi, they have the weaknesses of them and that they need to purge that weakness. Vader explains that any who fail to progress will be eliminated, and the Grand Inquisitor realizes Vader means him as well and tells Vader he knows the new Sith finds the Inquisitors pathetic, but since the program belongs to Vader, if they fail, he fails too. Vader agrees that he finds them pathetic, but he believes in change. Vader next talks about creating a list of Jedi who may have survived the Jedi Purge, but the other man explains the Emperor already gave him a target list of Jedi that are their top priority. Vader is surprised this list already exists, created by Palpatine no less, and asked if he had this list for some time. Why this is a problem? So when Vader woke up in his suit, Palpatine told him, "Hey Sith, we aren't given our first lightsaber, we earn it. So you need to go find a Jedi that escaped the Jedi Purge, you need to take his lightsaber, and you need to bleed it." So Vader went through this whole ordeal. He tried to find a Jedi that survived the Jedi Purge, he took the lightsaber, and then he went through the process of creating his Sith lightsaber. And then he figures out that Palpatine had a list the entire time. There's also the fact the Emperor gave a Jedi kill list to the Grand Inquisitor instead of Vader himself, Palpatine's apprentice. This has to rub him the wrong way. Vader thought he was solely in charge of eliminating the Jedi until he was introduced to this program. The fact the Emperor entrusted a list to them and not him has to burn. And if you are up on your Vader history, you know as time goes on, Vader learned more and more about the shit Palpatine was doing behind his back, and how willing his master was to replace him, eventually leading to this moment in the movies. Okay, so the Grand Inquisitor shows Vader that Jocasta Nu has been given extra emphasis in the list to be destroyed, which he's cool with as the woman never let him have all the information he wanted in the Jedi archives when he was a Jedi. But he still questions why, given the woman is so old. Vader tells him it isn't his place to question though. And you may recognize this woman from the prequels. She was in charge of the Jedi archives and managed to survive the Jedi Purge. Palpatine wants her because she has a lot of knowledge, just not knowledge about the Jedi, but also about the Sith. With her alive, she could train more Jedi, or at least make sure that the Jedi Order is preserved in some way. This makes her incredibly dangerous to Palpatine. And he is absolutely right to fear that, as we find she is making holocrons of all her knowledge. She made so many, she now has a huge library and has made a school for the Jedi. Now that she has transferred all her knowledge, she knows she needs to get students, and something in a very dangerous location, Coruscant. As she's going about this, Palpatine and Vader are discussing her. Palpatine informs Vader he wants her alive as she has a vast amount of Jedi and Sith knowledge, and knows where certain treasures are. Treasures Palpatine wants. However, no one else must know about her knowledge, as she could be used against them if she falls into the wrong hands, including the Inquisitors. Palpatine wants Vader to find her and keep her alive. So Vader, who has a hard-on for killing Jedi, has to keep one alive and make sure the Inquisitors don't know what he's doing. I'm just sure next issue he is going to love keeping that old woman alive. My favorite part of the comic, okay, there were multiple parts, but one part was Vader just going crazy on the Inquisitors. That's the angsty boy we know and love. But also Palpatine criticizing the Jedi. I love every time we read negative things about them, even if they are exaggerated. So what was your favorite part of the comic? Let me know in the comment section down below. Please let it be Vader going apeshit on the Inquisitors. Thanks so much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe for more Star Wars videos.